So in the last video, we have covered all about the variables and its usage, right? So now we are going to explore a lot more basic things which you need to master the Python. So what we are going to cover is about data types, input output statements and comments. The topics for today is data types, input output statements and comments. So first up, let's talk about data types in Python. Generally, a data type represents the type of data which we are required to use, right? So every value has a data type and variable can hold the value. Variables will be holding the value, right? Python is perfectly composed language. So there is no need to mention the type of data as we mention in other programming languages like C and Java. In C and Java, we'll be writing if you are using an integer type of data, we will be writing int before the variable, right? Before the declaration of variable at the start, we will be writing int, char, float, string, like that, right? So in Python, it is an advanced language, so there is no need to write the type of data which we are using. Whatever the type of data you are willing to use, you can use directly by assigning the value to a variable. That's it. It's that simple to use the data type in Python. Let's look at the example what I am talking about. Let's take in C, you'll be writing like int C is equal to 5, and then we'll be writing like the 5 value is a type of integer because we have mentioned it as a data type, right? But in Python, we don't need to write like this. Just take a variable and assign it a value, let's say 10, then print it. Let's check the type of data which we have used. For checking for that in Python, we can use the function called type. Let's take whatever the type of data which I want to check. I can use the type function for that purpose, and if I see the type of data in the output, so it's int. The type of data is integer, and if you mention it as a 10.5 as a float, you can see the type of data here is float. That's it. You don't need to mention the type of data which you are going to use in Python. It's all about the interpreter things. So the interpreter dynamically, it takes whatever used. We can verify the type of data in the program use variable thanks to Python. The type function in Python returns the type of passed variable. Whatever the variable you have passed, it will be disclosed by the type function, right? We have several data types in Python. Let's assume we have data types, right? So in that, we have numeric, we have different types of data like dictionary, and we have boolean, we have set, and we have sequence type of data. In numeric, we have further classified the numeric as integer, float and complex. Here in dictionary, we have some set of things. In boolean, we have only two, true and false. Sets and sequence types. In sequence types, we have strings, lists, tuples. We'll be discussing more about the strings, lists and tuples in the further sessions. These are the data structures which we are going to use in Python. We have several data structures in Python, right? These are derived data types, some of them, but the basic things are boolean, true or false, numeric, int, float and complex. Even the strings, these are all basic data types. What I mean is, these are basic, the built-in things which we are having from the start of Python. But whereas the remaining things like lists, tuples, these are all derived data types. Out of usage, we have discovered some of the things by using the basic data types are nothing but the derived ones. So let's take examples of the numeric, how we are going to use the numeric data types and all. Numeric data types, let's take a variable a is equal to, let's take 5, and if you want to print the type, just type of A. We are using the variable A, right? So if we print it, we will be having the type is integer. Let's assume we have a variable called B and its value is 10.5, and if you want to print its type, just type of B. If you ask it, it will be returning the float type of data type. And even though if you are having any C is equal to 1 plus 3j, print type of variable C, if you run it, it will be showing the complex value. So here we have mentioned the thing C is equal to I plus 3j. It is in the format of A plus bj. The complex values we have to write in the form of A plus bj form. A is the real value and B is the imaginary value. So this is nothing but about the complex value. This is float value. We know that the integer type of thing is nothing but all the values without consideration of the decimal places is nothing but integer, and the float type of things are nothing but consideration of the decimal points. If you consider the decimal points, it will be float. If you won't consider any decimal places, it will be the integer type of value. And if you write any number with A plus bj format, it is nothing but a complex value. Okay, that's it about the numeric data types. And if you look at about the strings, let's take another variable called str is equal to, how we assign the strings is anything which is in between the single quotes or double quotes or triple quotes is nothing but a string. Let's take Python in between the double quotes. It is treated as a string. Let's print its type. Print type of str variable. So if we print the type of variable which we are having, the output you can see is string. String is printed as the output, right? So anything in between the single quotes or double quotes or triple quotes is nothing but a string. That's it about the string. So if you want to check out the boolean things also, let's take a variable called p is equal to true and q is equal to false. Okay, let's assume p is equal to true and q is equal to false. If you print the type of these two things, print type of p and then print the type of q. If you run this, you can see the type which we are using. You can see boolean values. These are nothing but the boolean values. Boolean values are true or false. That's it. Yeah. And another thing about these boolean values is true is, you can mention in programming language true with any number, any positive number on any value, but false can be represented by 0 itself. 0 is nothing but false. Even in conditional statements also you can use these 0 as conditional checkup as a false statement. We already covered that part in C, and we'll be going to cover it once again in the forward sessions which we are having, so don't worry about it. And here you have to know about what are the type of data which we are having in Python, so that what kind of data we can use, the type of data which we can use further, whatever whenever required, right? So now let's discuss about the comments. Comments in Python generally started with a hash symbol. Whatever you write after hash symbol will be ignored by the interpreter and no output is produced. So it just used for the documentation purpose. And also if you want to use any multi-line comments, you have to simply mention triple quote and you can write anything. You have to use a string. So using the triple quote will make sure that the multi-line comments can be used in Python. So for single line it is hash and the multi-line it is triple quotes. That's it. So this is all about the comments. So comments are used for documentation. Whenever any other programmer used to look into your program, he can easily understand or debug the application based on your comments, based on your explanation in comments, what the program is doing. If you mention anything in comments, it will be helpful for the other programmers for while debugging, or even while you're error checking also, you can reach out them. So that's the usage of comments in Python. So you can see for the single line we have used hash symbol, and for the multi-line purpose we can use the triple quotes. That's it in the part of comments. So let's look at about the input and output statements. We already used these input and output statements. What is the output statement which we are having in Python is print. Anything in between the double quotes we mention in print statement will be printed by the interpreter. So you can see whatever the thing which we are writing in between the double quotes within the print function, it will be printed. So it is the output function. For the input function, we will be having input itself. Input is a function which takes the input from the user dynamically. Let's take enter a value. If we run it, it will be saying enter a value. Let's enter, it will be executed. So let's see once again. If I run it, after entering the value only, it will be finished. See, process finished with exit code 0. Let's ignore that line. Let's take a variable called a is equal to input enter a value. So whatever we input, it will be stored in a variable called a, right? So let's print the a value which we have used, right? If you run it, it is asking for a value, right? Let's take 100, and now a will be printed. See, a is printed, but if you check the type of data which we are using, it will be somewhat different. Let's check it. If you run it, and if I enter a value called 5, the type of data is here string. What's this? String. We'll be discussing more about this because we haven't used the typecasting here. Whatever the thing which you are using under input, it will be treated as a string. So if you want to convert it, you have to just write int. That's it. You have to typecast the things. You have to convert the things. If I mention 10, it will be printed as int. So we'll be discussing lot more about these typecasting things also in the further sessions. Don't worry about it for now. So this is for the video, and thanks for watching. Share with your friends. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. Thank you.